So thanks very much for agreeing to do this little interview.
Yeah, no problem.
So I wanted to ask you about your experience of working with Access to Business, but also to explore a little bit more about what you actually do. And so I'll ask you a few questions, if that's all right, about some of your past clients and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you set up the business? What kind of help did you get?
Well, I've been running this business now for about 2.5 years. So it's a while since I actually came to Access to Business. Now, I've got a marketing background myself, and within that, I've always made videos for the various companies I've worked with. I've always tried to incorporate videos in the promotions that we do and marketing material. And then I was working for one particular company and working with another company who wanted some videos making that weren't related to our business, and I offered to help them out with that. I said, I can do it, but not through our business. It has to be something separate, and they were fine with that. And that was like a light bulb moment for me, I think. I thought, wow, people actually want these videos. It's something I can do separately. So I thought long and hard about going out on my own, starting my own business and seeing what was out there, did a bit of market research. And that's when I came across Access to Business and the support and help they gave. So I had a look on their website, got in touch with them, and before I knew it, the service was really quick. I was actually enrolled on various startup courses. So various courses where we were talking about things like marketing, bookkeeping, the basics of how to run a business. And there were, I think it was 3 different meetings I had over three separate days where you sit down, and it kind of almost, I suppose it kind of focuses your mind to say, is this right for you? Is this what you want to do? If so, let's take it further. If not, no harm done. You can, go back to what you're doing. So that was really useful. And the fact that it was kind of, obviously when you first start a business, you don't really know anything, I guess. So being able to go to Access to Business and have those meetings, have the group meetings where you're sitting down and people are telling you what to expect, and kind of like really covering the basics of starting your business, really. And that was really useful. And of course, you were sitting there in a room with plenty of other people who all had their own different business ideas. There's people ranging there from myself, a videographer who wanted to start making videos for people, through to somebody else who's setting up art workshops. I remember somebody else in our group who wanted to open up a cafe, running their own business. So there's a wide range of businesses in the room. It was really good to kind of bounce ideas off different people and kind of be part of the community in there. So yeah, that was really, really useful. And obviously once I took those the initial startup courses, then I explored the help and received that further through Access to Business from there. So yeah, it was really, really useful to help me start and get me set up off the ground. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So how did that kind of guidance, how did it differ from what you were expecting?
I think there's probably an expectation of going into a small grey meeting room with a boring man in a suit, kind of sitting opposite the table and kind of telling me what I need to know and focusing on accounts and saying you need loans, you need to go to your bank and all this kind of stuff. I think that's kind of what the traditional help that people expect to receive. Where it wasn't like that. It was more approachable, more friendly, able to ask questions and kind of delve into the specifics of what I needed rather than what they thought I needed. It's all very good. There's plenty of support out there, I suppose, on the internet in this day and age where you can find out things about business. But is it tailored to you? Is it kind of going to speak to you? Are people going to sit down and discuss your needs and your requirements? They're probably not. Whereas Access to Business, they did. I sat down and they talked about things like my outgoings every month. Now, obviously, going from full-time employment to self-employment is a big, massive step because you're going from a full-time wage to potentially having no wage for the first few months. So it really kind of focused my mind. Somebody was sitting down across the table with a spreadsheet open saying, right, we need to know exactly how much you're spending on bills, how much you spend on mobile phone bills, how much you spend on food, looking after the family, that kind of stuff, and making sure we can make this work in your self-employment journey. And ultimately, that was eye-opening to me. It's probably something I'd overlooked, hadn't thought of. Maybe other people do the same. They just think they're going to go into self-employment and start earning thousands straight away. May not be the case. You need to have a backup plan, and those guys really did help me kind of focus my mind to know exactly how much I needed to make, how much I needed to earn to make this viable. So it was really useful, really useful.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. And I understand that they also made a referral elsewhere. You know, you did some other.
Yeah, it was interesting actually, because when I was part of the Access to Business, I was exploring all the different options, and they put me in touch with the University of Wolverhampton. Now, I believe the program was called the Speed program. I believe it's still called. Yeah. And now I was really lucky, and I count my blessings on this all the time, that I was able to access a grant that was set up for people starting a business. So that meant I was able to access funding of 50% towards things that I needed for my business. So I was able to purchase some new equipment. I think I invested in some new lights, new microphones, some new software for my business. All things that I probably would have been able to afford eventually, but not to start off with. You know, it would have took me a while. So that was immensely useful. I really can't, say how useful that was. I remember speaking to my family at the time, and they were saying, "This is amazing. You can get everything 50% grant funded, so it's half price. When are you ever going to get anything half price?" So yeah, that was really useful. And of course, that was all through Access to Business. So they put me in touch with those guys, and yeah, I still keep up to date with their newsletters, and I went to a couple of their events and things. So yeah, it was really, really useful, that was.
So how did you find out about the support that Access to Business offered?
The years ago, I used to work for a Business Link West Midlands, and now defunct Business Link West Midlands. Now they were set up to help people start businesses. So I always knew that there was support out there. It's just a matter of where. So the support I found through Access to Business is a quick Google search, to be honest with you. Just searching online and see what was out there. And then obviously the internet can tell you so much, and I just made a few phone calls to the Access to Business themselves, speak to the people there.
Did you feel that you had to take all of the help that was on offer?
No, that was the interesting point, actually. There was a lots of points and things that were offered which you may not need to take. For instance, like I've explained, I've got a marketing background myself, so I mean, I'm not saying I know everything about marketing, but I knew the basics. I knew how to kind of market myself and where to go with those kind of things. So I didn't have to take up that part of the offer, but then there's other stuff that I didn't know, like the account side of things, tax side of things, implications there. So I did take up those offers, yeah. But there's plenty of support there. Things like they offer the virtual address, virtual office, so you can have post redirected there. I thought that was a really interesting, really useful thing. It's not something I took up myself, but yeah, if you needed that, was a fantastic offer.
Okay. So tell me about the kind of clients that you have then.
Well, as a videographer, people always ask me this. So what do you do? And basically, the rule is I film anything and everything. So the clients that I have range widely. I've worked with local schools, putting together Year 6 Leavers DVD, which is sold to the parents to raise money for the school. I've worked with local businesses promoting themselves. So perhaps if businesses want to promotional videos making, so they can sit on their websites so that their customers can find out about people's businesses before they've even picked up the phone. That's the kind of clients I've worked with. I've worked with a local dance school. They put a show on every year, which I'm happy to film and put together in a DVD so the parents can have a lasting memory of their kids doing dances. And so, yeah, there's a wide variety of businesses that I've worked with. And yeah, it's all really interesting. Yeah.
Okay. And obviously we've been and still are to an extent in lockdown.
Yeah.
So how have you adjusted? What other things have you done? Or have you done other things?
Yeah, well, I think it's no secret that I think this lockdown has kind of turned everybody's worlds upside down at the moment. So, of course, we've got the it's difficult, the fact that when first announced the lockdown, I wasn't able to go out and film people because that would just be a social distancing nightmare, having to be in front of people with the camera. So a couple of things that I've done, apart from having the kids at home and teaching them their maths lessons and things like that. I've done other stuff like advising people on how to put together their own videos. So perhaps if people are filming their own videos on their mobile phone, I've kind of helped them how to frame it properly, how to make the best use of the technology and the equipment that they've got. Then offered an editing service as well. So people have been sending me videos, which I've been putting together. One example of which is the Brindley Heath Primary School, based over in Kinver. They wanted to make a music video, kind of parodying the Kaiser Chiefs Oh My God video, because they did one as well on YouTube. So all the teachers filmed their various bits, sent them all to me, and I put them all together in a video, which the school then promoted and said, look, you know, we're all in this together, kind of thing. And the school loved it. I think it currently sits on about 6,000 views online. I think Ricky Wilson from the Kaiser Chiefs has retweeted it as well. So that's really successful.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it has been a different way of working, but you know, there's still ways and that people can do things. I managed to spend a lot of time as well updating my own stuff, because like the plumber who has had leaky taps, you know, it's tough for yourself, isn't it? So updating my website, I've incorporated a way to sell these DVDs I've mentioned previously via my website. So yeah, I'm not going to say it's been an easy time. It's been an interesting time. It's been a difficult time. I think everyone would say the same. But yeah, there's definitely ways that people, not just myself, that the people can work and kind of adapt to the new way of working.
So what would you say to someone who was considering starting their own business, or you know, changing what they do?
I think what I would say is it is a massive step in your life. It really is. But it's a very rewarding step. By all means, I would definitely encourage you to access the support, access to business, all the support that you can access. I would definitely take that up. There's no one's going to think any less of you by asking questions, and there's no such thing as a daft question. Ultimately, if somebody was wanting to start their own business, I would say absolutely, definitely go for it, because it's the most rewarding thing that you will do. And being able to work for yourself, being your own boss, is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, definitely go for it.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks, Ross. That's great.
No problem at all. Thank you very much, Jackie.